Have you ever looked into a narcissist's eyes and wondered, what's really going on in there? Why do they lie when the truth is so obvious? Why do they act like they don't care when deep down they're desperate for your attention? And why do they seem so confident, yet crumble when they're not admired? Today, we're taking a rare look inside the mind of a narcissist. We'll uncover what drives their every thought, their every manipulation, and what they truly feel, even when they pretend to feel nothing. Because once you understand how a narcissist thinks, you'll finally understand how to take back your power. Welcome to Narcissist Unmasked. The first thing you need to know about the mind of a narcissist is that it's divided. They wear a mask, a carefully constructed image of who they want the world to see. Underneath that mask lies the true self, fragile, wounded, and filled with shame. Every interaction, every relationship, every lie revolves around one purpose: protecting the mask. The narcissist's inner world is built on illusion. They don't see themselves as flawed or imperfect. They can't afford to, because beneath their arrogance is a deep, gnawing voice whispering, "You're not enough." That's why they constantly project confidence, superiority, and control. They believe if they can convince others they're powerful, maybe, just maybe, they'll convince themselves. But here's the truth. Their entire sense of identity depends on how others respond to them. Without admiration, attention, or control, they begin to crumble. That's why narcissists are addicted to what's known as narcissistic supply. Think of narcissistic supply as emotional fuel. It's not just compliments or admiration. It's any form of attention that makes them feel significant. They crave it the way an addict craves their next fix. Positive attention, praise, admiration, approval makes them feel alive. But even negative attention, arguments, tears, anger still feeds them because it reminds them they have control. In their mind, emotional chaos equals proof of their importance. The thought process is, if you're reacting to me, I still matter. This is why narcissists will provoke you, confuse you, and play emotional games. It's not random, it's calculated, because your emotional response gives them the validation their fragile ego cannot create on its own. And once you stop reacting, once you go silent, that's when they start to unravel, because the silence exposes their inner emptiness. Inside the narcissist's mind, there's one overwhelming fear: being exposed. They live in constant anxiety that someone will see behind their mask and discover the emptiness, the insecurity, the shame. That's why they fight so hard to control how others perceive them. They manipulate stories, twist facts, and rewrite history because truth threatens their fragile illusion of superiority. Deep down, they fear rejection, abandonment, and insignificance. If they sense you're pulling away, they'll instantly shift gears. One moment, they'll belittle you. The next, they'll love bomb you with attention. But it's not because they love you. It's because they can't handle losing their source of validation. To a narcissist, losing control feels like emotional death. If you could hear the thoughts inside a narcissist's head, they'd sound like a war zone. One voice says, "You're better than them." The other whispers, "You're nothing without them." Their thoughts swing between grandiosity and self-loathing, between feeling godlike and feeling worthless. This is why narcissists behave so inconsistently. One day they adore you, the next they despise you. They're not just manipulating you, they're also battling themselves. They genuinely believe their own lies. When they distort reality, It's not just to deceive others. It's to preserve their fantasy world. They rewrite the story so they can live with themselves. And the sad truth, many narcissists are terrified of who they'd be without that fantasy. Control is everything to a narcissist, because if they can control your perception, they can protect their illusion. Their mind is constantly scanning for threats. Are you losing interest? Do you see their flaws? Are you challenging their authority? The moment they sense resistance, they activate their defense mechanisms, projection, blame shifting, gaslighting. They'll accuse you of being too sensitive or crazy because it helps them maintain the upper hand. In their mind, control equals safety. If they control you, they feel secure. If they lose control, their fragile self begins to shatter, and that's when their rage erupts. Narcissistic rage isn't just anger, it's panic disguised as dominance. They're not just angry at you, they're terrified of the reflection you hold up to them, because you remind them of the one truth they can't face. They're not as powerful as they pretend to be. When you start to understand how they think, you become their biggest threat. Because you no longer feed their illusion, they'll sense it immediately. Your silence, your clarity, your calmness. It's like emotional starvation to them, so they'll try to provoke you back into chaos. They might suddenly act caring, vulnerable, or even spiritual, but it's just another strategy to pull you back into their control. Inside their mind, the thought process is simple. I can't let them win. I need to be in control. But once you see the pattern, you realize the power was never theirs. It was always your attention, your empathy, your belief that gave them strength. And when you take that back, you dismantle their illusion. That's when the narcissist feels something they can't tolerate: powerlessness. Underneath all the manipulation lies a deep emptiness. Most narcissists develop this disorder as a way to survive emotional neglect, shame, or trauma. As children, they learned that love was conditional, based on performance or image. So they created a false self to be loved. But as adults, that false self becomes their prison. They can't form real connections because vulnerability threatens the mask. They can't experience real empathy because empathy requires seeing beyond themselves. So they live in a constant cycle of emptiness, seeking external validation that never fills the void. That's the tragedy of the narcissist's mind. They crave love, but destroy anyone who tries to give it. Understanding the mind of a narcissist isn't about sympathy. It's about clarity. It's about seeing the illusion for what it is, so you can finally break free. Remember, the narcissist's greatest power is confusion. But once you understand how they think, the confusion fades, and so does their control. You can't change how they think, but you can change how you respond, and that's where your true power begins. Thank you for watching Narcissist Unmasked. If this video brought you clarity, strength, or peace, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this today. Because truth is the one thing a narcissist can't control, and by understanding it, you set yourself free.